there was one crisis that I was involved in during the cover. Everyone else was having fights all the time, constantly. There was one big controversy that I created. Did you hear the story?
No.
The one big controversy I created, it was like 2 weeks before I left. 2 or 3 weeks before I left. Qayla had gotten me a gift.
Qayla. Okay.
Qayla had got me a gift. It was a book. It was an inspirational book that had dog stories in it that related to Bible verses.
Dog?
Yeah, like stories about people's dogs, and then it had a lesson in it and God's plan for you.
Sparky, came back to life on the third day.
I mean, not that dark, but like just people's dogs, everyday stories about people's dogs, and then relating it to a Bible verse. And the book was called, and this is why she got it for me. She thought I would think the name was cute. Pawverbs.
It's a
cute book.
Yeah.
So I start reading Pawverbs, and I take pictures and I show Qayla. I'm like, oh, I'm reading your book. I'm probably just gay. And I'm reading Pawverbs. One day I forget that I left Pawverbs in the entryway. I was putting my shoes on. I left Pawverbs at her house. And she was having a
Was it like a novel? Was it like a small book? Like a little, just little gifty book, like a stocking stuffer?
100 and some odd pages, I would say. And it's got chapters, like each dog story is a chapter.
Pictures?
Yeah.
Of dogs?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one day, Kayla's having a really difficult day, and she's texting me about it. And I thought, you know what would cheer her up? And I planned on reading a couple chapters out of Pawverbs that day anyway. I said, I'll just tell her, hey, I read a couple chapters out of your book today. I love that book. Thank you so much for giving it to me. So I do that, and then I go to look for the book, and it's not in the car. And it's not in the house. I'm like, oh, shit. She finds the book and she takes a picture. She goes, how could you have read 2 chapters if it's sitting right here? And I'm like, oh, damn it. And then I apologize for lying about the 2 chapters of the Pawverbs book.
You're like, I reread them in my mind. I loved that golden retriever.
But you understand. I was probably 6, 7 chapters in already. And she goes, it's right here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like a little white lie to make someone feel better. And everyone went fucking crazy. This was kind of one of those everyone's on coke but you moments. Everyone went fucking crazy. Aaron, I can't believe you lied. I can't believe you betrayed Kayla's trust. This is unacceptable.
You told her you read 2 chapters of Pawverbs today.
You told her you read 2 chapters of Pawverbs and it is sitting here at our house, and how dare you? And like Nick uses this to tell Qayla, he's like, he is untrustworthy and he is dishonest. How can you? And like 2 days later,
Qayla, how can you trust him? He lied about Pawverbs.
Right. So then Qayla forgives me like a day or 2 later. She's like, it's okay. Just don't do that again. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, all right, I understand. Nick is furious that Qayla has forgiven me this quickly for the Pawverbs lie. And that creates one of the big fights that kind of led to me going, I'll go home, I guess. I'll leave. He is berating Qayla about why you can't trust him. Like, I'm sitting right there. He's like, you can't trust him. This is the last night I was there. People like that lie and blah, 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 blah. And he's yelling at her.
About a silly book?
Well,
about
he was mad.
dogs?
He didn't think that she would have forgiven him for the Pawverbs lie as quickly as she forgave me.
That's a tiny white lie. Sorry
Right.
You're out of blow, Qayla. I'm sure it's really rough. I read some of Pawverbs today. How could you have? It's right here.
Well, he's getting furious. And this was also the day that he read her text messages between myself and her, and he was very mad. And that's the day he also started questioning me about stuff. So Qayla says to me, she goes, look, I'm really worried. Like, this is getting really bad. And we start talking, and I'm like, do you need me to like go? Would this kind of like make things like, would this relieve some of the tension? Because she's like sitting there shaking. I'm sitting there going, this is fucking bananas. This is
shake, boy, shake.
No, like
Roll
this is insanity. And so I leave, and that was my last day there. And it all was because she forgave me for the Pawverbs lie. And Nick lost his mind.
I thought there couldn't be anything weirder than the cover name. You're telling me that some weird dog Bible was the reason that you're basically out of there?
It's so many things. It's so many things that all just came to a head in a 2 or 3 day period. And it
pull up Pawverbs. Can you please pull it up? Look it up on the internet. It's just too ridiculous to me. Pawverbs? That meant so much here. Do they have a dog? Oh, yes, they do. A pug.
Yeah, here's Pawverbs. That's my book. Pawverbs for a dog lover's
right
heart.
On the cover.
Yeah.
God.
We would get each other little gifts. Like I got her Star Trek action figures and her little snacks that she likes, and obviously the charcuterie stuff and the
Pawverbs for a dog lover's heart, inspiring stories of friendship, fun, and faithfulness. Okay. Wow. Well, then maybe you all should have read Pawverbs.
There were some inspirational stories. There were some inspirational stories in there. No, but that got, I mean, the Pawverbs book, April was mad at me for it. She's like, I can't believe if you would do that, what else would you do? And how? I'm like, it's a fucking...
It was a joke. It's a book about dogs.
It's a fucking book about dogs. I'm sorry. I thought the girl would feel better if I said that I read a couple chapters that day.
You lied about Pawverbs? How dare you? If your intention was to shoot an arrow through my heart.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, Qayla got over it. The other two were still mad that she got over it. It was just so fucking retarded. I think those two maybe thought that this would push me out, and they were mad that Qayla got in the way of pushing me out by going, no, Aaron, it's fine. You're okay.
Yeah, it's really not that big of a deal. Okay?
Not that big of a deal.
It's a dog Bible. If for some reason I didn't know that they were on drugs, now I know.
Yeah, looking
for that
back,
to be a big deal.
And then Nick is shouting as I'm leaving. He's like, no, don't you fucking leave just because she said so. Don't you? I'm like, I feel like we need to de-escalate here.
Yes.
I feel like
go to my car, read a little Pawverbs.
And then, do you mind if I take this with me? There we go.
Yeah, I'm not leaving without Pawverbs.
Yeah, and then I'm getting texts about like when I came in the other night and you two were kissing. What did you end up doing? Why did you pull away so quickly? It's like, 'cause I don't like making out in front of people. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, quit watching us, weirdo.
When she set her pills down, did she set them down on your knee? I think she set them down on your dick. I'm like, why would someone set their pills on my dick?
You basically like shoved her on me so you could bone my wife. Okay? Like,
when you two, we were at the Mexican restaurant one time and you two were talking and you couldn't even hear us trying to talk to you because you were just so lost in whatever you were. Well, let's stop interrupting then.
That is so manipulative. It's like,
Keanu, go ahead and pick a chapter in Pawverbs.
I picked chapter 2.
Now, Keanu, can you explain to the audience while I look for this why Pawverbs is special if they missed it?
Well, what Pawverbs is a ridiculous book of proverbs, but with dog pictures that Qayla, Aaron's mistress, gave to Aaron. And once upon a time, she was very angry that he told a little white lie and said that he read chapters 1 and 2.
No, it was chapters 6 and 7. Thank you. But
chapters 6 and 7, but the book was actually in the car. So they thought that was a big lie. And cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Like, we're all fucking each other's spouses, and they're like, the dishonesty of not reading those 2 chapters. I'm like, I feel like your guys' priorities are a little...
You read chapters 6 and 7?
Then
why could you have? Pawverbs, it's right here, Aaron.
Here's chapter 2's Paws and Ponder. By the way, it's not Paws and Ponder like P-A-U-S-E.
Mm-hmm. It's Paws.
P-A-W-S.
It's a pun.
Yeah.
A pawn. This is too much. This is why they gave you this book, to distract you.
Paws and Ponder. When have you felt closest to God? Well, when I was kneeling over... Never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
Where were you and what were you doing? Take a moment to look up today, to look above your circumstances and see a glimpse of the Creator. Use your eyes and ears to look at and listen closely to the things around you. Ask God to fill your soul with rest as you breathe in His presence. Pause and ponder.
You probably read that and said, I got to get the fuck out of here. I wake up and look around you.
I keep looking up and I keep looking up in this drug den and I can't find God.
I don't seem to be finding God here. I see is just a bunch of unhappy people.
Just see a bunch of angry drug addicts with dried out hair and skinny faces. Keanu, pick a chapter here.
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4. All right, now we're getting close to the chapters that spelled the doom for my extramarital relationship.
Chapters that Aaron lied about reading.
I believe it was 5 and
7.
6 and 7. It's called Did You Hear Something? Yeah, it was a knock at the door going, police, we have a warrant.
Yes. Open up, police.
Well, it's a very short Pause and Ponder. Maybe we'll do the Pause and Ponder and Pause and Pray.
Let's do it.
What makes a good friend? Why is it important to choose friends carefully? How can you be a good friend to someone today? Help them with a drug problem.
Encourage them to come home and maybe, take a break from
disco,
drugs, or be there for them, I guess. Yeah. Not bitch at them if they don't read chapters 6 and 7 of Pawverbs.
It was so funny how April and Nick teamed up to really hate me over the Pawverbs lie after Qayla was like, I forgave you that same day.
That is just 100% just looking for something to fight about.
Right. I think that's
Coke brain.
That's Coke brain. There was always, like I said, every 4 or 5 days, there was some disaster and drama. And the only one that I found myself involved in was fucking Pawverbs.
It's a book about dogs.
Pause and pray. Lord, thank you for the gift of friendship. I want to be more discerning about who I befriend. Fuck. Boy, did I need chapter 4. Teach me to be a valued.
Maybe if you had read it, Aaron.
I read 4.
Lying about it.
I ended up reading 6 and 7 too. It's just that.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
Don't you fucking tell me I didn't love. I want to be more discerning about who I befriend. Teach me to be a valued friend to others, loving them as you do and as you love me. Chapter 6. It's called. Oh, no. Chapter 6 is called. Keanu, please read that chapter title if you can see it.
Let's go, Bullet. Okay.
Maybe that's why I stayed away from it.
No wonder you didn't want to read it.
While Bullet's fear of men was understandable and justified, why could that fear have been a snare for him in this situation? What might have happened if Bullet hadn't trusted Sarah's father? Is it easy for you to shrug off what others think of you or what they can do to you? How does trusting in the Lord keep you safe? Pause and ponder.
This is you know what? This is they wrote this weird book. I mean, for sure.
You think they wrote it?
Actually exist? I don't know. Is there a book on tape? I'll listen to it at night, I guess.